Welcome to Build Your Perfect College List, Module 5. It's time to put it all together. The last 4 modules, we've gone through specific step-by-step direction and given you many examples as well as to how to identify the financial, academic, and non-academic fit factors that are most important to set up you, your student, and your family for college admission success. We also, through this process, have tried to teach you how to avoid the big mistakes that many families make, leading to a lot of frustration and feeling of overwhelm, uncertainty, and then often disappointment. If you follow the steps that we've shared with you, you should be able to minimize the uncertainty and increase the potential for your student, your family, and for yourself to have a positive, great college admissions process. So when we build your perfect college list, we want to put it all together. And we started in Module 4 talking to you about how you can identify different data sources to verify the criteria that you've started listing. In addition, the data that you use is also going to potentially raise new questions that you might want to or need to explore. And that's a great thing, actually, because the process of putting the perfect college list together continues until your child applies and or they are accepted to the school of their choice. So once again, congratulations, you've made it. It's Module 5, but we're not quite done yet. So what does putting it all together really mean? So what we've tried to do is help you to identify and understand your students' and families' financial, academic, and non-academic fit factors, and helped you to have the conversation, but also document your findings, and then use various data sources to be able to then verify that you're on the right track and or if there's additional work or research that needs to be done. All of these fit factors will not just impact the ability for your child to get accepted, but we are also trying to emphasize the fact that if you go through this process correctly, the way we have taught you, you should be able to put your child in the best environment for them to be successful and have a great experience. As we always say, the list drives everything, and a happy child is a successful child. So identify the criteria that's important to you, match it against the environment, financially, academically, and otherwise that you think is best for you, your family, and your child, and then start building your perfect college list. Very, very key point here, as I just said earlier, this process is not done going through all these modules and then calling it a day. Now, it's possible that that could happen for you. And if you've done your homework and your child is done with their research and their exploration, or you're up against application deadlines, you may have gone through this once and been done. However, if you have time, don't worry about broadening the list, editing the list, modifying the list, honing the list, and repeating. You want to make sure that you're exploring all the options that are best for you, your child, and your family, and make sure that you've done a thorough job. So don't worry about it if you decide that there's changes or modifications or edits that need to be done. Go through the same process that we've just taught you through all these modules and make sure you verify that the additional schools you might be thinking about and or the schools that you might be taking off the list either meet or don't meet, respectively, your criteria. So the last 4 modules helped you identify the key factors in building your perfect college list. You completed worksheets, so you document and discuss the most important criteria with your family and students. And by the way, you should put those together in a file in a folder, in some organized way so you can go back to them and remind yourself and refresh yourself on what criteria you used, as well as what additional questions and research you may need to get done. In addition, we taught you hopefully to be efficient with the time, effort, and money you allocate towards the process. This process can be overwhelming, and what we tried to do specific to building your perfect college list is try to keep you focused, give you key tips and points so you can be efficient and effective as you go through the process. We helped you explore the right data sources and gave you many examples of the different ones you can explore. We also talked about the fact that you are going to potentially need to polish, edit, and then eventually finalize your perfect college list. We definitely, absolutely wanted to focus on making sure that you are in the best position to avoid the big mistakes that many families and students make as they go through the process, so you can avoid disappointment or frustration at the end of your whole journey. And we want to help to teach you to successfully navigate the process, because by teaching you to do that step by step, as we've attempted to do, we're hoping that we're going to put you in the best position to achieve the admissions and financial objectives you, your family, and your student desire. Just a quick recap, keep everything in perspective. We want to make sure that we understand the financial fit factors that are most important to you and your family before your student applies. So we've taught you how to identify if a school is a financial stretch, how to understand how financial aid really works, how to get a holistic view of what you can most likely expect from each school, and also make sure that you ask questions and talk to admissions as well as financial aid to truly understand how that specific college addresses financial aid, both from a need-based perspective and a merit-based perspective. From an academic perspective, we've looked at things and made sure not just to identify reach, match, safety, so your students' potential to actually get accepted, but also to make sure that they're in the right academic environment to set them up and position them for future success. And we've always emphasized the importance of trying to make sure that you do not use bumper sticker envy alone as a driving force. We also talked about making sure for all of these fit factors that you don't just use ratings and rankings, or if you use them, you keep them in the right perspective. And again, we make sure that we're not just concerned about your child's ability to get admitted, although that is very critical and important. But we want to make sure that their expectations and their realities, once they become a member of that school and community, are going to support them for future success. In addition, we looked at probably the most avoided or the biggest thing that people omit as they go through this process. We looked at the non-academic fit factors. And it's very important, as we said in the module itself, that we look at these things because we understand that your child is not going on a 4-year vacation. However, at the same time, the happy child is the successful child, and that has a lot to do with being in the right academic environment, but it also has to do with their peers, with their community, with their clubs and activities, with the support that they might be able to get or look for if they need it, and for being around people that they feel comfortable with and that are like them. And last, in Module 4, we talked about data sources, exploring all school sources, college-specific sources, as well as independent sources. Hopefully as many that you don't need to pay for as possible. We helped you to hopefully identify that the information that you found critical is therefore then verified in some way, shape, or form by the data sources that you're using. And we want to make sure that you use multiple sources, but you literally could spend all day, every day doing this if you use too many. So identify the ones that you think you're most comfortable with, are most user-friendly, and answer the critical questions that you and your family and your student have, and then Try to forget about the others so you don't get overwhelmed and confused. Couple extra steps that we wanted to make sure that we took you through relative to putting your perfect college list together. Again, you want to determine admissibility of your student, meaning, again, the ability of your child to get accepted. Look closely at the current enrolled class, the latest class, the freshman profile. Understand the competitive quotient. Lots of colleges are much more competitive and selective than we expect, and it increases every day due to the increasing number of applications that they get and the selectivity that they can have as to who and what characteristics they want specifically to consider versus those that they don't think are that important. Measure your self-reported competitiveness level in an honest, open way and identify gaps. Review application to acceptance ratios, and this is also for majors as well, especially if your student is not sure what they want to major in. We discussed the fact that you shouldn't worry about it. Going in undecided is fine, and you would almost rather do undecided rather than choosing a major unknowingly that is more selective from an admissibility perspective. Examine and ask for other factors that could influence admissions decisions. Those are all the non-academic things. Those are all the things relative to in-state and out-of-state, early decision, early action, and all those types of things. And then once again, we talked about not letting bumper sticker envy drive the college bus. You need to ask, meet, and talk with resources at the colleges you're considering, students who have applied, who are attending, and or who have graduated, and get the most information and the best information you possibly can so you're making educated decisions. Step 2, we want to make sure that we have a couple of rules, and these are guidelines that we like to encourage families to consider. A student should never apply where they aren't really interested in enrolling. And what we mean by that is the process we just helped you go through should absolutely help you identify the ideal types of schools, reaches, matches, and safeties that meet your criteria and that your student hopefully is excited about potentially attending. A lot of times students, because they don't know what they're doing with the process and they don't have a program like Build Your Perfect College List, they may apply to schools that they're very confident they may get into, but they really have no desire to go there. I hope that that's not the case with any of you who have gone through this plan and through this whole project that we've worked on here. But if for some reason that is still the case, I would suggest you talk to your student, go through the process and the modules again, and identify schools that are truly a good match and where they would definitely consider going to if they were offered admission. Don't ignore in the quote unquote lesser schools. Again, so many families focus so much on reach schools that they don't spend enough time finding the right match and safety schools. Like I had just said, safety schools should not be a secondary consideration. They should still be schools that match your criteria and where your student would be excited if they're admitted. So don't ignore the lesser schools by going on reputation and rating and rankings alone. There's a lot of great colleges out there with great programs and great learning environments and social environments, and potentially as well, great financial aid offerings. Look for multiple right schools. And what we mean by that is it's absolutely fine for a student to have a favorite school. And in that instance, they may want to apply early decision if your financial situation permits them to do so, early action, and the like. However, please understand and try to explain to your student that regardless of the schools that they think are their top choice, there are many great schools. And if you've gone through the modules the way we've helped you to do it, there should be quite a few schools that your student is very interested in and that they think is a great match for them should they be admitted later on. And again, create your students and your family's criteria, but make sure that in doing so, that you're identifying colleges that are realistic, real, and that they live up to the reputation, the rumors, and the data and research that you have done so far, and that obviously are affordable and within your budget. So when we, again, want to put this perfect college list together, we want to make sure that you are identifying the financial fit factors, the academic fit factors, and the non-academic fit factors before the student applies, so you can minimize, again, the uncertainty, the potential for frustration, and the feeling of being overwhelmed when all is said and done. Some additional tips. You want to match your students' interest, personality, and academic ability to schools. That's what the modules are aimed for, but we wanted to sum it up and just make sure we're really driving that importance home. In addition, you probably need to create a standardized testing plan and ensure it matches the school requirements. So please make sure, as part of the criteria, we talked about it in the academic module, but make sure that you have realistic expectations as to where your student is from a standardized testing perspective, ACT, SAT, and also to match it to the colleges and what their ranges are to identify, again, whether or not a school will be a reach, a match, or safety. Create, hone, edit, modify the list as we talked about before, but make sure you have the right number of reaches, matches, and safeties. And we've given you a little bit of a guideline depending on where you are in the process and what your goals really are. Project the college costs before you apply. We cannot emphasize this enough. More and more every single year, we get families posting randomly who did not follow this program, who do not take us up with the additional services that we offer, who went through the process and are absolutely bewildered and befuddled by the fact that their student got into the school, but they can't afford it now. They thought their student was such a good student that they absolutely should have gotten something from the school, and they didn't because they didn't understand how financial aid works and didn't truly match their student from an academic and a financial perspective to the colleges they were applying to. At some point, junior year, end of junior year, you're going to need to start the Common App, essays, supplements, summer after junior year or at the end of junior year if your schedule allows them to. The priority is obviously the best GPA that they possibly can get, so they have to finish the year strong. Some of your children may have AP exams to do and other standardized testing schedules. However, at the end of junior year or after junior year in the summer, Common App, essays, and supplements are going to be key, because the more that they get done over the summer, the more comfortable they're going to be and less stressed and overwhelmed they'll be come the fall when it's close to application time. Once again, ignore the water cooler talk and the bumper sticker envy. We've talked enough about bumper sticker envy, but water cooler talk is another thing, and there's several capacities of that. Lots of people will say lots of things about the process, about their children, about colleges. Take it all in, but be very careful what you internalize and consider valid versus just nice commentary. Validate anything that you think is significant and important and or contradictory to what your assumptions are, but don't go based upon pure conversation and commentary of people that either you don't know or who have shared something specific to their process, which is going to be potentially very different from yours. Also, at some point, you're going to need to identify your admission strategies: early decision, early action, rolling, honors programs, and some are for specific deadlines for merit consideration and the like. Now, you've completed the course, so you have all the tools that you need to build your perfect college list. If you have any questions, please email us at info@roadtocollege.com. If you follow this step by step, you should feel much more comfortable and confident than you did when you started. Remember, you can go back to any of the videos or any of the modules anytime you want, and the worksheets as well, to make sure you're on the right track, make sure you understand completely what we advise you to do, and to get more help. But as we just said, there's more to do, and guess what? We also have more for you. Because the college list drives everything, like we said, but there's still a lot more to do potentially. And it's not going to be for everybody, but a lot of people will have a lot of other things that they're going to need to make decisions on, potentially need some support and guidance and advice on. And for that, Road to College is here to help. So again, college list drives everything. You follow the modules, you should be in very good shape. But there's standardized testing strategies and recommendations. There's class choices that your child needs to make while they're in high school. There's the way to do a virtual and in-person visit the right way, more detail on the horizontal versus vertical visit that we talked about. College essays and supplemental essays. Interviews, application strategies as we discussed, which are very personalized to you, your family, your student, and your situation. Managing getting waitlisted and or deferred, which happens to more and more students these days. Appealing financial aid and merit scholarships. Making your final college decision, and much, much more. Road to College has several options for you that are here, that are inexpensive, and that are very comprehensive to provide you the support, the knowledge, the expertise, the guidance, the advice, and the peace of mind to know that you're making a solid, smart decision. We have our Road to College concierge service, which is a monthly subscription service that is incredibly affordable, but that covers specific training topics every month, as well as has office hours for all the members to ask pointed questions regardless of where they are in the process, so they can get very specific pointed advice and guidance. In addition, they can have between 1 and 3 emails per month that they send to the college concierge to get, again, specific, customized, individualized responses, advice, and guidance. It's an incredibly affordable, reasonable program, but it's also a very, very comprehensive program, and it's becoming more and more popular every year. So if you think that you could potentially benefit from additional help regarding your child and your family's navigation of the college admission and application process, you should definitely go to concierge.roadtocollege.com. In addition, if you think you've got most of it on your own, but you can benefit from a little bit of extra help, we have 3 very pointed programs and products that can help you. First is our College List Navigator. We just taught you how to make sure that you are building your perfect college list. However, there's a lot of other things that still you may be uncertain of. A lot of times it would be beneficial to get an expert's advice to make sure that you've gone through this process the way you needed to stay on track and to achieve the results that you, your student, and your family are looking for. Our College List Navigator provides you specific, personalized advice and guidance to make sure that you've followed these steps the way that you should, and that you're in the best position to achieve your desired results. The College Essay Navigator, this is some of the most tedious and sometimes labor-intensive part of the process, especially for the student. College essays, the main essay, meaning the common application or personal statement essay, as well as nowadays many colleges have additional supplemental essays that are specific to the college. Students could be writing between 1 and 25 essays. That's a lot of essays. You want to make sure that they're accurate. And I have to tell you, in my professional opinion, after GPA, types of classes taken, and standardized testing results, the next most important part of the process is the essays that your student is responding to, how they respond, how in depth they are, that they're specific, not generic, and that the admissions people who are making the decision understand and know the type of student they're considering to enter and join their community. And then the college decision navigator. Once your child gets accepted to the colleges that they are applying to, sometimes if they're actually accepted to more than one, which is the goal, so you have options, sometimes it may be very hard to make a decision. If you want expert advice, to review the options, to speak with you about what your admissions desires and goals were, and whether or not the schools that your child has gotten accepted to will meet those standards, you can have the option to have very cost-effective, personalized individual review to help you make that college decision and make sure and get support that you're making the right choice. The concierge service is for 9th, 10th graders. That's our JV service. And our concierge varsity service is for 11th graders. The add-on a la carte services, which are the college list navigator, the decision navigator, and the essay navigator, those are for families of 11th and 12th graders. Our services we offer are very engaging. They're very personalized. They also are incredibly inexpensive and reasonable if you compare it to anything that's out there in the industry. And it's a way to dot your I's, cross your T's, and to make sure that you don't make any of the big mistakes that many others do, that you're on track and stay on track for all the deadlines and all the guidelines that are part of the college application process, and that you can make sense of all that information that is out there and know what applies to you, your child, and your family versus what's just nice to know. It's very thorough, and it's been incredibly successful. And we've gotten great feedback over the last 2.5 years of providing the services that we provide. With our services, most importantly, we'll help you to avoid the big, costly mistakes that many families make. In addition, our goal with everything that we do is to try to help you to be efficient and smart with the time, money, and energy that you allocate towards your college process. We want to give you tips and guidance to make sure that you're efficient and don't overspend, not only on the cost of college, but also on everything you do from a college preparation standpoint. In addition, we, like you, want you to be able to achieve your family's college admission goals, regardless of what they are. Helping you explore all your options to make solid decisions is very important, and that is what we do with all of our services to make sure that you become an educated consumer. We want to provide all these services with expert guidance at low cost. And we also want to help you and your family make progress through the process to ensure you don't miss any deadlines and or opportunities to maximize your students' results. So congratulations again on building your perfect college list. We hope you found this program incredibly helpful, and we know that if you followed our steps, you are on the course to getting college admission success. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to email us at info@roadtocollege.com. And if you're looking for additional support, you want to make sure that you dot your I's, cross your T's, and have an insurance policy that you've done the right thing, you're on the right track, and that you're educated to all your options so you can make intelligent, educated, smart decisions. Please check out our services on roadtocollege.com or the concierge.roadtocollege.com and get information and research what we can do for you. And I'm sure you'll find something that can help you out, help you and your family get from wherever you are to your final college destination successfully at very inexpensive, cost-effective rates. We wish you the best. Good luck. to you, your family, and your student on your college application and admissions journey.